How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Good. Excellent. How was that workout?
It was good. So I've been making sure my back
Mm-hmm.
is on point so I can be in consistently. So I've been doing some B workouts.
Yes. Good.
So I still come in anyway
Yes.
and do B.
That's exactly what they're there for.
Yep.
Yep. And they are not easier.
No,
I think people are catching on to that.
I went all out. It was very cardio heavy.
Yeah.
So I went all out on the first bike.
Yeah.
Died from there. It was the first thing we did. But
Yep. I'm glad you volunteered to talk because I have a sort of a lengthy preamble, but so you've been training with us for like 5 years now or something like that.
three and a half ish.
Is it? I have a horrible gauge as to how long. I'm like, wait, you've been here for like 3 months?
It was a year exactly after I moved here, or a little
Okay.
under a year after I moved here.
So several years. We'll just use
several years.
We're a couple of years. And that has been somewhat rocky in terms of you've had some crazy jobs and you've had some super consistent high times and some lower times, and the thing that is the focal point is that through it all you found a lifeline somewhere and you stuck with it. That's usually an opportunity for most people to just kind of drop off and quit, or they're like, oh, I'll try something else. So kind of take me through your thought process as to what kept you through it, and all those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking to you on my trial day and asking why I wanted to first come, and that's a big reason why I'm still here, is because of the combination between getting a personal coaching, really, getting the best workout I possibly can in the given hour, and getting that community where I'm seeing people consistently. Because moving here, I had a couple family members, but didn't know anyone. So the combination of all that and just what I personally like in working out and what I need is kept me here. And I've worked for 3 different companies and 4 jobs in that 3.5 time period. So it's been crazy, but I made sure to keep coming back. And it's not just the job. It's other things in my life that I need to be consistent with, like really making sure equal priority with work, diet, and working out. Yeah. And if I'm off on any of them, it gets me rocky.
Yeah, and I remember, in the early days, you describing what may have been the first job that you had while you were training with us, maybe the second one or something like that, and, just all the demands that they placed on you. I'm like,
yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. And so, the thing you just said about having the context of balance, it's so easy to just sort of like zoom off into work land and that's all you do. And you're like, yeah, I'm climbing up the ladder and I'm, making money and I'm doing all the things. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I'm totally burnt out and unhappy and out of shape. Yep. What the hell happens,
Yeah. And I felt that. So I know that that happens. Yeah. So I kind of take a step back and I get into funks. And I'm sure a lot of people get into funks. Yeah. And when you get in that funk, it goes deeper and deeper, and it's really hard to dig yourself back out again.
100%. Do you have, because I'm with you, the funk thing is real. Like, that's not a, I think everyone succumbs to that every once in a while. Do you have particular things that you can draw upon that you go, that got me out of this funk?
Just coming.
Okay. Like, literally just being consistent, and all of a sudden you just, whoop, all right, cool, I'm good.
As soon as I'm consistent, and in everything in my life, but as soon as I'm consistent here, every other thing seems to be consistent and balanced, like you said. Yep.
Yeah. That's, I don't know if you happen to watch any of the chat I had with Nadia.
I did,
and she is, it's like, it's so weird because work and what we're supposed to do in the world is so draining, and it's feels like it shouldn't be, but it just is. Yeah. And so she's a teacher, and it's hard, and it's very draining, and she's giving to kids and all the time, and then got nothing left for myself. And you travel.
I
do
travel.
You still travel
so
a
that's
lot?
the biggest thing. Yeah. So my company put a travel ban on it earlier this summer.
Travel ban.
Try to cut costs, and it was the best thing in the world.
Yeah, great.
I was like, no problem.
Yeah.
It hurts my work because I'm in sales.
Sure.
But in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to take advantage of it. So.
Interesting. Well, so tell me about pre-post. So travel unbanned. travel okay.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Travel okay. So it can be when I was in pure sales. So making sure the only way I made my money is if I closed deals on a monthly or quarterly basis. I would be in 2 or 3 cities across the country in a given week. Okay. So I might have a meeting in San Francisco or the Palo Alto area. I have to get on a flight to Phoenix, and then I have to take a red eye to New York because an early meeting Monday in New York City, and then come all the way back within the same week, or try to see family when I'm there.
Sure.
So that could be 1 week, or every other week I'm going to Dallas or I'm going to Minneapolis. And when I travel, it's not like, you get to travel for fun.
Sure.
It actually increases my workload 3 times. Because you can't really work that much while you're traveling.
Sure, yeah.
And then you're doing other things while you're in a different city, but all the other work's still there.
Right.
So when I try to bring some bands, when I try to go to the hotel gym, it's literally I'm exhausted. Or I have to go to client dinners. And then you're eating poorly on top of it. So it's compounded when I travel. And then when I get back, I'm exhausted. And I don't want to come in. So it's like this rocky road, like you said.
And so, every, I don't like to use the word excuse, it's like, it's whatever you want to call it. But people use travel as a mechanism for which they excuse themselves from exercise or whatever it is, or like some sort of thing like that. And so you clearly have like said, no, I'm not going to do that. So, because that's super important. But that's between, kids, travel for work, and what are the other things? To me, those are the biggest 2 things that are obstacles. So how do you get through that and manage that?
So when there's normalcy, when there's like absolutely not the crazy,
sure,
3 cities in a week and back to back, planning my schedule a little bit better and being like a weekend warrior at least.
Yep. Okay.
I did that. That worked. And then again, that's when my diet also fell off. So if I'm also ensuring that I'm eating healthy during travel, that also makes sure I don't fall off the wagon there too. So it's just just being mindful of all those 3 aspects, because that's my life is working out and eating, really.
Yep, I got you. So so that's kind of like so now travel ban, is that like a strict travel ban, or it's kind of like 90% travel ban?
I travel locally now. Okay. So I do have to go to Palo Alto and San Francisco quite a bit. Okay. But that's 1-day trip. Sure, yeah. So if I know that's 1 day, I know for a fact that I'm not going to come to the gym that day. So then I can plan my week out a little bit better.
Okay, I got you. And
the other thing I've been doing is I used to come 4 to 5 days a week here, but I'm adding a run day. Okay. So that doesn't, between travel and being here an hour and staying late, that's maybe 2 hours of my day. Running's 30, 45 minutes.
Right, you can just put on your shoes and go, for sure.
Yeah, so I've been trying to do that.
Yeah, okay, very good. And so, my sense is your employer, no offense employer, doesn't care about, like, your workout needs.
Oh, no.
Right.
No, I'm getting calls late into the night, weekends, 5 a.m. text message, I need you to do this now. Right. Yeah, so they don't care.
And which, it's should they care or not is, the different discussion. But it's kind of what, it's like that conundrum of, okay, you got this employee, and they want to work for you. They want to make you money because they want to make money. They want to have a life and all this kind of stuff. And taking the job that you've given them, that they've agreed to, will burn them to the ground eventually. Like,
eventually we're going to be less productive for them.
Right. So, I don't have the solution, but it just seems to me like because I think it's really easy for like Facebook to care because they have $1 billion in cash reserves and no one's really traveling probably, and they're coders and they have this campus, and so it's like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. And then you have, you know, people who are just like, yeah, I commute to the city, which, you know, is its own obstacles and stuff like that. And then you kind of work your way up the chain to, like, cutthroat, die hard, sales, no one gives a shit, you know, it's kill or be killed.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you survive in that life?
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny, people say, like, oh, you must travel, that must be awesome. And I'm like, no. But I found a lot of my colleagues have a partner in life.
Mm-hmm.
So they might have kids, but at the
Sure.
same time, they have the other partner to do laundry, to
Sure.
make sure there's food in the
Right,
fridge.
right, yeah.
Where I'm single, I live by myself, and so all of that is on me.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the employer doesn't take that into consideration either.
Sure, yeah.
So they think, oh, you're single, you can travel more.
Right.
That's my perception
Sure.
anyway.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. They, yeah, that's a very interesting, tough nut to crack.
Yeah. But there's you know, not risk and reward, but
Sure.
there's effort and reward. Right. So moving here, changing industries,
Mm-hmm.
moving to completely across the country, I've had to I had to put my dues in,
Mm-hmm.
And make things work and get to where I want to be,
Sure,
which
yeah.
is finally a steady company,
Right.
and the job I want. So hopefully,
Because you were working for some like startup-y
I
kind of
was.
things.
Yeah.
Which is part of this sort of like volatile.
Mm-hmm. Sales
situation.
in startups, very risky.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, who do you work or what do you do now?
So
that you're in a good
I'm
spot?
software sales still. So I work for SAP.
Okay.
So very reputable company.
Right.
And now I'm still in sales, but through partners. So my paycheck every
Mm-hmm.
month is not tied to deals closing.
Okay.
So I enable third-party resellers to resell our products.
Oh, okay.
And I, help them with their marketing and demand generation needs, all the back-end operations, go through their pipeline, whatever I can do to help them be successful.
Yeah.
It's not on me
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay.
So less stress, less travel.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. And have you found that that's the flip side to that is that it allows you to live a little more balanced kind of.
Yeah, the demands are still there. So, like, we'll have a fire drill saying, you need to get this reporting in, tomorrow. And I'm up all night, right?
Yep.
But the stress that I know the money's coming in,
Mm-hmm.
just the weight is lifted off the shoulders. So that's, like, the biggest difference. Like, not every single conversation I'm having, like, every single time on a call, every single email I have, did I say that perfectly?
Sure.
Like, that stress in every aspect of your whole day, it kind of weighs on you after a while.
Yeah. You did knee deep in the ABCs, right? Always be closing, right?
Yeah.
Very good. What got you into this line to begin with?
I was in finance for almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Back-end operations, front office, service/sales, managing teams. And they said, you know what, Fallon, you'd be really good into sales. You'd be really good at sales.
Yeah.
You're really good at motivating people to get their job done. But I didn't have any of my licenses, financial licenses.
Okay.
And where I was at the company, it took my peers to get all their licenses 7-8 years to get all of them.
Sure, yeah.
So I didn't want to go through that. So I, on a whim, tried to, went into software sales. And I started from the bottom, but my paycheck was still the same, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I happened to do well.
Yeah.
And I was really speaking to what people's needs were.
Sure.
And that's how I sold. If you have a need, I have a product that can help you.
Right.
It's not like the used car salesman type of sales. Like, there's a solution out there. Let me try to help you. And I really, really liked that. I really liked helping these companies perform better, whatever I was selling, helping them.
Yeah.
And so I was passionate about that. I was always an athlete. So I liked winning.
Yeah.
I wanted to have my effort show for something.
Sure, yeah.
And make, say, the harder I work, the more money I'm going to make.
Yeah.
Instead of just, whatever people think of what your bonus should be.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
So I got into that line and just kind of zigzagged my way from there.
Okay. Never look back. It's been a good move.
It's been a good move. I'm definitely
shaking your fist at that person who's like, you know what?
You know what? I can finally say, as of last May, it's been worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was a struggle.
It takes time. I mean,
yeah.
It takes time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So finally there.
Yeah. Where did you relocate from?
I'm from New Jersey, but I was
Okay.
living in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Right in Center City.
And that's like a big economic software hub?
No, it wasn't.
No?
So that's
Okay.
why I moved to California.
Yeah.
So,
okay, to be, yeah.
Yeah. So I first got my first quick job in Philly, and then I sold a particular product for that company. I sold a bunch of different products, and I sold that product well.
Mm-hmm.
Made some joke to someone.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, hey, are you hiring in San Francisco?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Wait, are you asking seriously?" I'm like, "Wait, are you asking me seriously?"
Yeah.
And it kind of was this jostle that pretty much they said, "You'd be perfect. Can you come down to Virginia for an interview?"
Yeah.
2 weeks later, went for the interview, and my dad was in the hospital during this time too.
Oh,
so it was like really rocky time.
Yeah.
And I got the job, and I said, "Okay, can I live anywhere in the West I want to? Like, I want to be at least near someone I know, a
Sure.
family member." So I chose Walnut Creek.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I moved.
That's,
Yeah.
Walnut Creek is like such a funny place to me because it's this weird little micro-economic hub. And I'm like, why did you
And everyone's
move
like,
here?
"Well, why'd you pick Walnut Creek?" Yeah.
It's funny. So you have family out
I
here?
have, so you know my cousin Leeson used to come to the gym?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so she...
Oh, Leeson, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, she grew up, my mom's sister.
Yeah.
They moved to California. My uncle was in the Navy. They lived in Danville.
Yeah, okay.
So I would come here on vacation
Yep.
to visit them.
Okay.
And go out to Danville, go to Walnut Creek, do
Yeah.
some touristy things around, and every single time I came here, I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to move there." So for 10 years, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I would love to move there."
Yeah. That's not a bad place.
No.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's good. Lucy's doing okay.
Yeah, she's doing really good. She's almost done. She moved down to
So the South Bay Center or
South
something,
Bay.
right?
She's almost on her nursing program.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Good for her.
Yeah,
That's
almost there.
Outstanding. Very cool. What sports did you play growing up?
I played almost everything possible.
Yeah.
I rode horses, but I really stuck with mostly soccer and track.
Okay. What was your event in track?
The 100 and 200 meter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why when I'm people
Sprinting,
running, I'm usually last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like,
that
can we just trim this down a little bit and just do it one time?
Yeah, so that's why when we started doing the track workouts, it's
Yeah.
really got me coming back in consistently. And
Oh, you've been consistently going out to those?
yeah, well, whenever
You're
I could.
town and yeah.
But did the track workout, then started doing the trail run, just kind of got me running again.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Do you find, like, when you... Sometimes it's been so long, I don't know people's, like, origin story or whatever it is. Like, when you first walked in our doors and, we talked about whatever we talked about, what impression did you have about what you thought you wanted versus, like, oh, this is maybe...
Yeah. Well, I remember you asking me, like, what goals do you have?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're like, so many pull-ups, you want to, like, deadlift a certain way. I'm like, whew. I
Sign
don't
me up.
even, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, like, just be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I remember, the one thing that came to my mind was, I just want to be able to feel like if I have to do something, I can pull myself up.
Sure, yeah.
Like, off the ground, or feel like I can just be as in shape I need to be as a human, to feel the way I want to feel at 35.
Yeah, 100%.
So, that was really my goal, and now I have different goals.
Yeah.
I have, I've hit a bunch of them since I've started,
Sure,
and now I have more goals of, snatching better.
Sure.
I wouldn't even have thought about that when I first...
You don't even know what you don't know, to begin with, right?
I remember I couldn't even sit down. I couldn't do an overhead squat with my arms overhead with a PVC pipe and sit down on a bench.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
And then you asked me to start training 4 days a week instead of 3.
Yeah.
Signed up for a competition with Kat back in the day.
I remember that, yeah.
for training for that, end up getting pull-ups.
Yeah.
And that was in the span of maybe 4 months of starting here.
Yeah, you had some like sneaky pull-up gains in there.
Yeah.
At your best, would you have like 8 or 9 or something like that?
9, yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm at 6 right now. I gotta get back up there.
That's still like, you know, you're sitting in like the top 90-something%. I mean, most people don't get a pull-up period, much less 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're hanging out in a really good place. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Do you find that what you do here kind of like scratches that itch a little bit in terms of competitiveness and like going back to, you know, not like we're trying to like win in here, but the idea of like, all right, I got the clock and this person, I'm like, okay, here we go. And
I need that.
Yeah.
I think I really needed that back in my life.
Yep.
And I'm not, at work I'm competitive, and in sports I'm competitive, but I'm not a super type A personality with like friends or anything.
Right.
But that I have that like sports was everything for us growing up.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to get that out of me. So this really fulfills that.
Sure, yeah.
And the more I come in, the more I want to hit something. And I'm like, oh, I didn't do that last time.
Yeah.
Let me try this time. Or like, oh, maybe should I start, you know, I saw Vanessa in the competition yesterday, I'd kill it. And like, oh, maybe I should snatch and, you know, start cleaning a little bit more. You know, just kind of taking a little bit more steps now that I've been pretty consistent.
100%. And, you know, that's something that Andrew and I, that framework kind of wish for everyone, because at some point, like, you get to your best WOD shape and you do the open and you do whatever it is, or you get a good Fran time or whatever, and as soon as you stop, it kind of fades away, like the day you stop. But things like skills, like you said soccer was your sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how long has it been since you played soccer?
Oh, almost 20 years.
Despite that, you still remember the rules.
Yeah.
Just remember how to play. And maybe, you know, you're not like in soccer shape or whatever it is, but you could go on the field and you understand the game, you could have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you start playing soccer again, you know, you get soccer conditioning back and all that kind of stuff. The persistence of skills is truly the fruit that makes this interesting long term.
Yeah.
So anyone who's interested in Olympic lifting, we're like, let's do it. Unless somebody's got like some crazy spine or knee thing or whatever it is. But like, yeah, those things make it just up the engagement.
Yeah. Tremendously.
Because then you have stuff that's like quasi-permanent. Doesn't go away. You'll always be able to do it. Yeah. Maybe not as heavy, but you can still get the experience and the enjoyment of doing those things. Yeah.
I think even at my best in shape since I've been in here, I've had the strength sometimes, but the skill or the movement could have improved.
Sure.
And I would have lifted probably, you know, X amount more.
Sure. 100%. Yeah, that's something we're trying to encourage a lot more of in here. Like, you know, how many options are there for things for people to do? I mean, you know, there's not an infinite amount of stuff, but like trying to do Spartan races and come the new year, trying to do more in the way of like Olympic lifting on Friday nights, and you know, push people towards doing a comp and just experiencing that and all that stuff. And
but like back to what you said before. I've definitely, I've always had that competitiveness in me, and going to like a regular gym, just I'm so unmotivated.
Sure.
And I can go in there and do something, but even taking classes at those types of gyms doesn't fulfill that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have super high expectations for just like some random gym fitness class, you know.
Yeah.
So, prior to you walking our doors, doing some CrossFit, and then I guess finishing up, did you play soccer through high school or college?
Played soccer until I was about 16, and then I stuck with track, and then I ran track in college.
Okay, cool. So you did track through your early 20s or whatever it is. So between the end of that and, wait, how old are you?
35.
Oh, we're the same age. Okay. So between that gap, what was kind of your jam? What were you doing?
Not much.
Okay.
The one thing that I did do, because I had gained weight after college.
Okay.
And I was just disgusted with myself.
Sure.
So I did MMA.
Oh, okay. Right on.
And I know you've been involved with that in the past, right?
I dabble in jiu-jitsu, which is
Yeah.
Yeah, martial artsy
So
stuff.
that's what I did. That was my gym.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Did you go to like UFC gym and
I
take
went
like striking classes or?
It was a chain on the East Coast.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it was called Tiger Schulman's, and they had beginner classes that were a mixture of mostly like kickboxing skills, like taekwondo. And then they more advanced classes that I got into. I did jiu-jitsu and
nice. Very cool.
sparring, and then I went to competition, and
nice.
I did very well at jiu-jitsu, but
wait, I had no idea any of this stuff.
Yeah, I did very well.
Yeah.
And then
were you doing gi, no gi?
No gi.
Okay.
No gi.
Awesome.
And I got first place in the competition.
Nice.
Jiu-jitsu. It was just mainly positions. We weren't really like striking.
Yeah.
They kind of separated it, and but I got last place in kickboxing. Yeah. And it was my cardio. It's always been my crutch.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, wow, I had no idea you did any of that stuff. So, about how long did you?
I did that for about 2 years.
Okay.
And then I moved to Philly.
Okay.
And I don't know, just kind of fell off and didn't have, just went to a regular gym again on my own. Again, gained the weight back, and then moved to California. Didn't know what to do, and that's before I walked in here.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like, so did you really enjoy? I mean, 2 years is a decent amount of time.
I really enjoyed it. I was very consistent. I really liked feeling like I was good at something again.
Sure,
because I always felt like I was really good at sports. My parents, they said we didn't have to go to church because we had soccer games.
Sure, yeah.
You know, they didn't ask me how my test scores were. They asked me how practice went. We're ready for the game tomorrow. So it got me doing something like that, and I just always needed that.
Very interesting. Okay. And so, that's I'm digesting, having gone through MMA stuff. Yeah, that's something I've been actively doing. Is I don't do any striking stuff. It's all just grappling things. But yeah, that's
what I
cool.
preferred. And only getting hit.
Yeah, it's like so Andrew. It's kind of funny. Andrew and I are total opposites in that. So he does a lot of Muay Thai, and he just kind of I'll ask him stuff about his jiu-jitsu, and he's like, I don't know, I don't remember. He's just does it. I guess just to do something different or whatever, and I'm like, I really don't want to get hit in the face.
Yeah.
I'm just not that into it. Yeah.
That's actually how I felt.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Okay. There's a lot of MMA-ish type things around here.
I think there's something around, I don't know, I see a lot of kids.
There's literally, the place where I do jiu-jitsu is literally in the same complex.
Oh, yeah. So they do adult stuff there, too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's there's a lot of kids there, but, I mean, there's probably an equal amount of adults, and they got all these competitive black belts and all this kind of stuff. So it's no playing around, for sure. They do gi and no gi.
Okay.
You should go over there and check it out.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you like that? Fallon the fighter.
I
had no idea. That's cool.
Yeah, I everyone looks at me, even when I did track, I was always this little girl,
sure.
With just very strong, big sprinters,
sure,
and they would look at me kick their butt, and then same with fighting, I'm just oh
yeah,
here I come, and then I just it's like that fight or flight.
Sure,
I definitely have the fight.
Yeah, there's there is definitely, I think, an it factor, where I'm not going to sit here and say I'm some sort of amazing fighter or something, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the engagement,
Yeah.
As opposed to, sometimes you can tell, if it's somebody's first class or they've just been a month and they're just kind of that it thing isn't there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can train that into someone, but I think there definitely is that factor of you have to be okay with smashing your head against somebody else's head. You gotta be, and maybe slightly relish it just a little bit, There's, it's definitely.
What does that say about me?
Well, I mean, it's. You're familiar with Russell Brand?
Yes.
So he does. So it turns out, jiu-jitsu, there's these sneaky, all these celebrities and comedians and movie stars and stuff are on the low doing jiu-jitsu and all this kind of stuff. Jason Khalipa from the CrossFit scene, he does jiu-jitsu apparently. So anyway, he put it really I'm gonna butcher what he said, but it's this sort of it's this primal, like, back to roots kind of combat thing, and it is, submit or be submitted, and there's a very, like, raw, real, no pretense or fakeness about it.
Yeah.
And for the right person, that's a very compelling, engaging thing. And for other people, I can imagine they'd be like, I don't want anything to do with any part of that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, the fight or flight thing, even in certain situations where it was a kind of a real life, I've been where there was a fire.
Yeah.
My brother got very severely burnt.
Oh, geez.
And, like, running into the house to, like, grab my cat out of there, get him, and just, like, speed, like, I'm a fight. Like, I turn on.
Sure, yeah.
Where, when we got to the hospital, and I called my dad, and he got there, like, he froze up.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't talk.
Yeah.
He couldn't answer the doctor's questions, and I just had to be like, okay.
Yeah.
You just turn on, or you like, there's different kinds of people.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's interesting to know that about yourself, too, because that sort of, like, speaks to, being a little bit, like, battle-tested. Where you like, there's that, what is it? It's if you go into a situation and you're not good at something and then you put on pressure, it's likely that you'll stumble and fall. But if you're good at something, you'll kind of rise to the occasion. But I think that there's like a different layer of that too, where it's like you're a person that can just rise to the occasion just because, hey, Fallon, what are we going to do? And you're like, we're going to do this, and you can just like, get in there and get it done.
And some people might not ever have a scenario where that comes up.
Yeah.
Hopefully people don't. Obviously don't want something crazy to happen, but maybe doing something like jiu-jitsu could tell you a little bit more about yourself.
I definitely think so. I mean, because who was I talking to about this? Something about, like, somebody was talking about being, like, physically, I don't know what the words they use, but basically feeling somewhat threatened because they were unsure of some situation. And I was like, well, it's interesting because when you participate in any sort of, like, combat sport or martial arts or whatever it is, you first of all, I think it dulls that sense a little bit, so you just don't feel, like, scared of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then also you have indicators where it's like, if somebody's 10 feet away from me, there's no threat. If somebody's 3 feet away from me, now there's a threat. If somebody is 6 inches away from me, that implies, like, all those things imply certain things. And the more you do these types of things, you just kind of, like, get used to that, as opposed to just, like, everything is sensing danger. I have no idea how to interpret this situation. Yeah. So I feel like it gives you skills to just...
You're right. I'm thinking back to some of my friends that get, like, scared in situations. I'm like, what do you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
But I also, at the same time, also know when there's a little bit more of a threat, too. I don't go there. Like, like open concerts, like free concerts in the middle of a city.
Yeah.
I usually stay away from them.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, that actually was kind of put words to something that was on the tip of my tongue. I remember being in Amsterdam, and was it Amsterdam? It was some European city, right? And I was watching other people getting pickpocketed because I don't want to say like, oh, the spider sense is tingling or whatever, but I was on the alert for that because I was like, well, I don't want to get pickpocketed. And then, I'm in this city square or something like that, and at a cafe, and I'm like, hey, Ash, bet you that guy's a pickpocket. And we kind of watch him a little bit, and you see these things kind of unfold, and you're like, oh my God. And so that I feel like that awareness is at least somewhat useful in not getting pickpocketed. But then also, just like knowing like whether or not you're in generalized danger. I don't know.
Yeah. Because even like in the martial arts, they always taught you awareness. So it was like all these other skills that they would talk to you about other than just the movements.
Right.
Or my gym did anyway.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's interesting. This is not something I thought we were going to be talking about. Yeah. That's cool. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Okay. We're worried about our time limit, unfortunately. So it seems like a decent enough place to cut it off.
Sure.
You should go check it out. Seriously, it's right down there.
I will.
And they have a very, now you've already been in the scene, I guess, and so a lot of times I know women are intimidated to go into this place where there's just a bunch of men and whatever, and it's like, oh, jiu-jitsu, you sure? But it's like they have a very strong female presence of very highly skilled purple, brown, and black belts, and so it's super cool to see people get like I'm rolling with a woman who's like 110 pounds. I'm like, shit, I gotta be like on my stuff. Like, man, she's just like it's not like a like one of those little martial art kid factories where people are just like rolling around doing cartwheels and stuff like that. Like, they're doing stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that was a point where I kind of got demotivated because I didn't really have anyone to train with.
Yeah.
At my level.
There's some very skilled, consistent, fearless folks over there. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
I'll definitely check it out.
They have a very good presence. And they have, I think they do a women's only class on Tuesday night. If that were like, oh, okay, cool. It's a good place to start, something like that.
I'm really glad you told me that.
Yeah.
Because I run by there, obviously when we're working out, and I just see kids. And I'm like...
It is because the class that you come to is probably in line with their kids' class, but right after that...
Yeah, use the later ones, obviously. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I'll sync you up and make an introduction or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Will do.
All right. Sweet.
Thanks
for sitting down and chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.